Because that's really what we worry about when we worry about death, or we worry about dementia or insanity. We worry about our self ending. So we really care about ourselves, but what is a self anyway? And usually when you think about a self, you think about personality, sort of your personal history, these kind of high-level, what I would call high-level conceptual, sort of language-based phenomena. But as a neuroscientist, I want to know whether there is something sort of deeper, more fundamental, both in terms of development, so from a baby to an adult, and also in terms of evolution. So selves haven't always existed on the planet. There seem to be creatures around which probably don't have selves, like locusts maybe. Maybe all mammals do, we're not sure. Also, when you were an embryo, you probably didn't have a self, so a self somehow arises at some point in an individual's lifetime. And my research is looking at how the fundamental basis for our self is actually our brain's model of our own body. Because first of all, we have to, the brain has to distinguish self from world. So you think about in terms of biology, so I have to know where I end and the world begins. It's no good me thinking that his arm is my arm. That's really important because I have to protect my own arm, I have to look after it, I have to know what part of the world is my body in order to use it. So I'm trying to understand that, so how the brain knows this body is my body, and also other sort of fundamental aspects of self-consciousness, which I call bodily self-consciousness. For example, we experience that the self is located in the body. So most of us feel that our self is located in our body most of the time. An out-of-body experience, of course, is a situation in which that experience is altered. So I'm also interested in how that arises. So how is it that self-consciousness can be distorted in certain people? And there is growing evidence that if you look at the kind of people who have out-of-body experiences, often it arises from lots of different reasons. But some of the reasons are brain damage, brain epilepsy, and there is a certain area of the brain that is processing inputs abnormally in people who have out-of-body experiences. And this is an area which receives information from the body. So we started to have a neurobiological explanation for an out-of-body experience. And sometimes that can be difficult to take, I guess, for people who've had an out-of-body experience themselves, because I know they're very, very vivid, very real experiences for the person who has them. But the trouble is, I suppose, how you interpret them. So although it might seem extremely real for the person having them, what does that then mean about reality? So is yourself really outside of your body? Or is it just that that experience is created by your brain not functioning properly? Because the way I see things is that our brain, our experience of reality is not necessarily how reality is. Obviously, our brain has to interpret all the inputs it receives from vision, from audition, also the inputs from our own body. So it has to create a model of the world and also of ourselves. But that's not necessarily completely veridical. I'm not even sure how it could be. And there are cases in which this model can go wrong. And I would say the out-of-body experience is the case in which the model of the self is abnormal. But I guess some of the other panelists will disagree with me.